Welcome to this explainer on unlocking your brand's potential and protecting your business name right here in the Garden State. Look, if you've ever wanted to operate under a catchy new brand name without having to form a completely new company from scratch, well, you are definitely in the right place. Registering a DBA, or doing business as, is honestly one of the most powerful and cost-effective tools you have to expand into new markets, open dedicated business bank accounts, and really build up your professional credibility. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's address a massive misconception that could seriously hurt your wallet. Did you know using an unregistered business nickname in New Jersey can actually cost you? A lot of folks think they can just, throw up a new logo on Instagram or paint a clever new nickname on their storefront window and just start doing business. But in New Jersey, operating under an unregistered alias is a huge mistake. And here is exactly why. You can get hit with a strict statutory penalty of $50 for every single year or even a partial year of unauthorized name use. It's a strict enforcement mechanism under New Jersey's commercial code. So think about it. If you've been using an unregistered name for 3 years, you suddenly owe $150 in penalties. And that's on top of your normal registration fees. We absolutely want to avoid that completely. So getting this right is crucial. To help you out, we're going to follow a simple 6-step roadmap today. We'll cover 1. What is a DBA? 2. Preparing your business name. 3. Applications and the paperwork. 4. Filing forms and fees. 5. Avoiding mistakes and renewals. And finally, 6. Growth, resources, and next steps. All right, jumping right into step 1. What is a DBA? At its core, DBA simply stands for Doing Business As. It's essentially a legal nickname or an alias that lets a company operate under a name completely different from its true legal name. Think of it kind of like a pen name for an author, right? The author is a real person, but the pen name is what they actually print on the book cover. So for example, a legal entity formally named Cats Incorporated could do business out in the real world, advertise, and sell products under the DBA name Dogs Incorporated. It just allows you to market yourself differently without having to change your underlying legal structure. Now, here's where things get really interesting with New Jersey's laws. Your application path actually splits right away based on your existing business structure. If you're a formalized entity like an LLC, a corporation, or a limited partnership, your DBA is officially called an alternate name, and that gets handled at the state level. But if you're a sole proprietor or a general partnership, your DBA is called a trade name, and that has to be filed locally at the county level where you actually operate. Moving right along to step 2, preparing your business name. Before you fill out a single form, you have to do a critical 3-step check to ensure your chosen name is totally unique and not stepping on any existing trademarks. First, you'll want to check the New Jersey Treasury database online to see if any formal entity is already using the name in the state. Second, if you're a sole proprietor, you got to check your local county clerk's records for local trade names. And third, run a quick search on the United States Patent and Trademark Office database to make sure you aren't violating any federal trademarks. Oh, and a quick pro tip for you, go ahead and secure a matching web domain as early as possible so nobody else scoops it up. You also absolutely must adhere to some pretty strict state naming guidelines. One of the most common mistakes people make is illegally appending an entity suffix. What I mean is, if you're a sole proprietor, you cannot just stick LLC or Inc. at the end of your trade name. New Jersey will outright reject it. You're also strictly barred from using restricted financial terminology, words like bank, trust company, or credit union, without getting special approvals first. Okay, step 3, applications and the paperwork. If you fall into that LLC or corporation category, you're going to file Form C-150G with the State of New Jersey's Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services. The form itself is actually pretty straightforward, but it requires absolute accuracy. You're going to need your 10-digit state ID number, your official date of formation, and a crystal clear description of your business activity. And the good news is you can usually file this right online through the Business Charter Amendment Service, which makes the whole thing super efficient. On the flip side, if you're a sole proprietor or general partnership, you're filling out a trade name certificate. Now, this is where it gets a little analog. You'll often need to physically bring 3 or 4 notarized original copies directly to your county clerk. And since every single county in New Jersey operates just a little bit differently, you definitely need to check exactly what your specific county requires before you make the trip down to their office. Which brings us to step 4, filing forms and fees. While state-level alternate name filers just pay a flat $50 online, the county fees are a whole different story. It's actually fascinating how localized this gets. For instance, Middlesex County charges between $50 and $58, and they absolutely will not accept P.O. boxes for business addresses. Meanwhile, over in Monmouth County, you pay $54, but they actually mandate that you do a physical search of the records yourself in their deed room. And then you have counties like Essex and Union, where they include a mandatory homelessness surcharge baked right into their $54 fee. So double-checking with your specific local clerk is vital.
All right, on to step 5, avoiding mistakes in renewals.
Getting registered is awesome, but maintaining compliance is how you safeguard your brand long-term. You have to remember that a DBA is not a new legal entity. You don't get a new tax ID, you still have to sign legal contracts with your true legal business name, though you can totally add that you are doing business as your new alias. You also file your taxes using your existing EIN. And here is a huge pitfall to watch out for. Under New Jersey law, limited liability partnerships, or LLPs, are legally barred from using alternate names entirely. If an LLP wants to change how it presents itself to the market, they literally have to formally amend their primary certificate of formation for $100. Also, if you have one of those state-level alternate names, you need to mark your calendars. While a trade name at the county level generally lasts until you formally dissolve it, an alternate name for an LLC or corp actually expires. You are required to actively file Form C-150R every 5 years and pay the renewal fee to maintain your active status. If you forget to file that, you literally lose the legal right to use that name. Finally, step 6. Growth, resources, and next steps. Once you've successfully navigated all this paperwork, the payoff is huge. A properly registered DBA empowers massive growth for your business. With that stamp certificate in hand, you can walk right into a bank and open dedicated business checking accounts under your brand new name. You can start accepting credit cards and checks made out to that alias. It basically gives you the agility to pivot your business or expand seamlessly into entirely new product markets, all without the massive headache and expense of forming a brand new company from scratch. Now, if you find yourself needing a little extra help along the way, there are some fantastic resources out there. For state filings, you can utilize the New Jersey Department of Treasury by calling 609-292-9292. They can even check name availability for a small fee. And for those local county-level trade names, definitely consult the Constitutional Officers Association of New Jersey. Their website is a great place to easily track down your local county clerk's specific rules and contact info. And of course, as a necessary and very important disclaimer, while this explainer provides general guidance, you should absolutely consult with your legal or professional advisors to address any specific concerns or unique circumstances for your own business. We've mapped out the framework for you today, but every business is unique, and professional guidance is the best way to ensure you don't miss a beat. So, now that you have the structured roadmap to safely register your alias and dodge those nasty $50 statutory penalties, the really exciting part begins. You know exactly how to prepare, file, and maintain your DBA in New Jersey. So the only question left for you to answer is, what new market will your next brand alias unlock?